Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-hosts, Jen Isgro and Tom Kokoza. And we have a special guest today, Rob from Malkier Talks. I'm going to say hi to Rob first and welcome Rob. Well, welcome
Hi.
Rob. Welcome him back.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like this is my second or third time here now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
you filled in a couple of once or twice when like Jen.
I definitely feel that I remember doing Hen News one time, so I've been here at least once before. So yeah.
How's it going?
It's good. It's good to be here. I'm always excited to. I like when there's no pressure on me. In terms of I don't have to edit. I don't have to edit this afterwards or worry about uploads or anything like that. So it's really nice. I'm a guest so infrequently. It's a pleasure, and you three are awesome. So it's always
Oh, thanks.
It's always good to come out.
It's fine.
All you have to do
it's especially good that Jen's here this time because, like we said, I filled it last time, and it was just it was a guy's night. But Jen's here to keep us in check. So, yeah. No. No. I've seen you party at WotCon,
yes,
Jen.
I definitely
Yes.
Oh wow, WotCon. I feel like WotCon is what we should be talking about. I feel but we have to talk about other stuff tonight. How you doing, Jen?
I'm good, actually. I had a very nice day today.
What?
I don't know if anyone's going to bring it up, but
what? We'll bring up what?
It is my birthday today, guys.
Oh, that's
it's your birthday.
It's my birthday, and I am here celebrating with everyone. But I had my free donut this morning for National Donut Day. Donuts. Sorry, Rob, you probably weren't able to partake in that since you're not a part of our nation. But over here in America, it was National Donut Day.
No,
that's why we fought for our independence. Right?
Apparently,
wouldn't have gotten that if we didn't.
We took it away.
Separate. Yeah.
Sorry to disappoint you there, but the UK is not the 59th state. So,
not yet. Yeah. So I ate my donut. I got a pedicure. I went out to dinner. So I had a very nice little Friday for myself here.
Sounds good.
Nice.
I love that.
It's good.
It's good. It's also another holiday today, or I wouldn't say holiday, but another important day in history.
Woohoo!
Where the Americans and the British were on the same side.
That's right.
Good. Way to circle back, Joe.
We're circling it back. Tom, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Joe. It's not my birthday, so nothing too fancy. But I'm very excited to be here tonight with three of my favorite people.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It would have been funny if you said two of your three favorite people.
We would have spent the episode discussing. That would have been the episode. Yeah. That would have been the episode. There we go.
Clue.
Rob gave us an idea for next week.
There we go.
Right? It's like, what are we going to talk about? Right? The show's canceled, but there's still so much going on, and there's articles. I feel like there's news articles every day coming out about the cancellation of the Wheel of Time and like updates, and it's
dozens.
There's more articles now than there ever were about the show. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it feels like.
I think you are right, Jen.
It's terrible to say, but it's almost like when an artist dies and their artwork skyrockets in value. Yeah. It feels a little bit like, oh my God, Wheel of Time is over. That's exciting. We should write, not exciting, but like, that's news. We should write about it. And that brought traction. So then they write about what they wrote about, and then they write about what they wrote about, what they write about. And
yeah. And then they write about what other people wrote about, which is actually two of the articles I wanted to talk about. It's one article, and then another article wrote something about that article. So TV Line does like a Q&A. It's an online publication that did like a Q&A. And one of the questions that was asked was, is there an effort to move the Wheel of Time to other platforms, or is it certain that the series will not return? And their response, TV Line's response was, well-placed sources confirm for Inside Line that the fantasy saga is not being shopped after being canceled at Prime Video. I want to let that sit. I don't have to let it sit. You know about this. You've read about this already. What are your thoughts about that? Do you think it's credible? I mean, other people are reporting on this, by the way, this article, quoting this article.
It's like very vague. Well placed. They're not just sources, they're well placed sources.
Yes.
So take that with a grain of salt. I don't know.
Yeah, I always worry when someone has to be like, define the quality of their sources in order to verify what they're reporting. I'm like, if you're reporting on something that is, an action by the government, it says you would say government sources, to be like, this is not someone who's married to someone who works and doing it. This is someone who's doing it. That's a good clarification. But well-placed sources?
Well, this person has an office with a very nice view, and what they told me,
they
are very well.
They are well placed within the building.
Right.
Corner office for this person.
Yeah, it is vague.
Right. This could be the product of just like they wanted to be a little bit more specific and say like Prime Video, Amazon, MGM sources, or Sony sources, and they were like, no, you can't say that, and the person felt like they had to put a substitute word in there. They couldn't just put sources. They were like, no, I like the cadence already, so let's put something there, and well placed. I don't know.
Sorry, somebody in chat's like, just because you fell down a well.
Well, doesn't make you an expert on television.
Thanks, Gabe. That's
great.
Man. It's true.
Yeah, well placed. I like Sherbet Mango. Well placed as the only WOT contact in my phone.
Right.
Well placed in my phone.
Yeah, like I don't know.
Go ahead.
They might be what they mean by well-placed source, but like you say, it's so vague. But if they were told they couldn't put sources at Sony, then I don't know. It just I want to be positive as well. So there's something about it where I'm just like, nah, not buying it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've never heard of TV Line, to be honest with you, until I saw this article. But other big publications are quoting or sourcing this article for in that. So it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Go ahead, Tom.
I was gonna say in that last piece that doesn't like if there's not a lot of news about if there isn't a lot of people talking about it, like this is the news cycle. It's like it kind of gets taken and repeated and repeated and repeated, and it feeds around. So I'm not like just by the fact that other people are quoting TV Line doesn't necessarily make TV Line the be all. And although I have heard of them before,
thank you, Tom.
This was one article. I
think by Tom Kokoza.
Yeah, there you go. Tom has heard of them. That's all you need to know.
There are websites that exist.
Yes, a website reporting on well-placed sources backed by well-placed listeners.
Yeah,
that's true. Yes. What was I going to say?
Accredited by Tom Kokoza.
Yeah.
I think, even if these well-placed sources are accurate in their assessment, it's still not necessary. It sounds negative, obviously, on the surface, and it probably is negative, but there's still opportunities for hope there. Just because they're not shopping it around actively doesn't mean that they aren't. Like, it could mean I don't need to shop it around actively. I'm now just weighing my options. I already have an offer on the table, and I'm trying to figure out if that's the right thing to do. Or it could mean we're we're trying to figure out what our next steps are before we move forward, right?
There's go ahead. Sorry, no, finish your thought.
Right. Oh, no, I was going to segue into the other article. So.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we should read some of Jen Sedai's comments because she has television.
Yeah,
I was read what she's saying.
Wait.
I just flipped channels and I was actively thinking, what? Maybe they're like taking a pause. I'm hoping they're taking a pause before shopping it. Then I'm reading Jen's comments and then Jen brings it up. So perfect. Go.
No, wait. Before you get that, I want to say. So people listening know this is Jen from Rob's co-host from the Three Wheeling podcast, who is in our chat, giving us some some information, some TV insider information. What I would like to know, though, and I think what our listeners would like to know before we read these, is if Jen is well placed.
I mean,
otherwise, it's
I as a well-placed
nonsense.
as a well-placed friend can vouch for her well-placedness.
All right, Tom, is she certified? Is that a certified?
No, I have to let everybody here know I have heard of Jen, and I have known her before her making comments here on tonight's podcast.
Here we go. Right. Here's some vouching for Jen. Jen is an Emmy-nominated lyricist.
That's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
So there we go.
Eat that.
So what is Jen saying?
Read these. So Jen Sedai, not me, is saying, I'll just read this three here.
She's saying, I'm in my jammies.
Well, she said she's not well placed at the moment. She's on a couch in her pajamas.
I mean, that sounds like a well placed moment.
I know.
Saying it's also very possible that Sony isn't actively looking for meetings because it's summer, because the industry is afraid to buy anything, because no one knows how to do anything in this town right now. Actively shopping means Sony is making calls and taking meetings. Not actively shopping can just as easily mean thinking about how we want to take this out and what that means for all the properties involved. Like, they have to know what the deal for SaveWoT and Rafe and Rosamund is if they take it out. So they're not literally shopping it. That's what this article's saying, but that could mean they're just still like
writing the shopping list.
Move. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, they're making their list. I like that. The list. It's the list. Well, I like that. Yeah, this other so Ash Harmon over at Medium wrote an article about the about that the cancellation could be a strategic maneuver. It also cites the TV Line article that we just talked about, and I just wanted to read this bit over here about it, right? So this is Ash Harmon at Medium. The cancellation may have been a legal and logistical maneuver. The Wheel of Time Season 3 was officially greenlit in July 2022, with production wrapping many months ago. In the entertainment industry, contracts for cast and crew often have firm expiration timelines, commonly 18 to 24 months from the time a season is ordered. Rather than letting the contracts expire in silence and risk entering murky legal territory, Amazon and Sony may have chosen to cancel the show publicly, freeing all parties from prior obligations. That would explain the quiet cancellations. It cools expectations, give legal clarity, and sets the stage for renegotiations. It talks about the TV Line mentioning it, and it says they may be waiting to renegotiate from a clean slate. Sony might not be legally able to shop it yet if they wanted to. I don't know about that part. I haven't heard any confirmation either way on that. And then, of course, it mentions while all this uncertainty is going on, a strong, very strong, visible fan-led campaign to save the series only strengthens the case for internal renegotiations or external pitches. And, sorry, one more part. And because I saw people posting this, right? Fans have been reporting that they've been getting surveys from Amazon about the Wheel of Time after the cancellation, which is kind of an interesting thing as well. So I guess let's take that last bit first. Do you read into anything about Amazon sending out surveys about the Wheel of Time after the show was canceled?
I mean,
depends what the kind of questions they're asking.
They posted it. It was like,
I didn't see it.
I saw a couple of people posted in Facebook. It was like, the typical scale, like, how disappointed were you that, like, whatever, the Wheel of Time is canceled. It's like very disappointed, slightly disappointed, not disappointed,
all right.
Things like that, those types of questions.
I don't know. I mean, maybe they just want to find out how angry people are.
They could just go on Twitter or something. Like, they don't need to.
I don't know. I want to look positively at everything. So I think this means that if enough people are severely disappointed, they'll bring it back. I don't know. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Tom, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. Before these articles were mentioned, we talked about this last week as a possibility. Like, and I don't know if we made this analogy. We did make, I think, a couple of sports analogies last week. But I'm thinking about it almost like, the end of the union contract is up. The owners are going to do a lockout. rather than like go like, no, we're just gonna, no one plays until we have a new contract. And like maybe Amazon is trying to do the same thing. Okay, you know what? We're dickering over this. Let's play hardball. I'm gonna cancel the show. And if you want the show to continue, you can come back and we can talk under the auspices of like, there is no show. You want to show how we're gonna do that. Which is, you know, a relatively common dicky business move to do. And I think that, like, in that light, I like the way that this guy's going, and that does, I guess, feed in with Amazon trying to send out feelers about, like, is it worthwhile? Did we make a mistake here? Like, where is our fan base at? And also, if it's the kind of thing where it's like, Amazon's desire is to bring this back under a much more limited scope, right? Okay, who do people like? Who do people not like? If I'm going to renegotiate with this group,
who are you going
to
replace?
What are my musts? Like, you know what I mean?
From that, I was just going to say just something to that. I just wanted to say something to that before you jump to the next point. Right, we've heard though, and I wouldn't call them well-placed sources, but sources that have been reliable in the past, that there was offers. Like I think we talked about this last week, right? Like 2 seasons, 6 episode seasons, and that's it. Like things that were put on the table, like half the budget, right? Things that were put on the table, and they were, you know, like Rafe was like, no, we're not going to do that. Like that's not going to work. So I mean, that sounds exactly like what you're saying, right? They're like almost intentionally sabotaging it so that they could start fresh.
Yeah, not like reboot it, but
no, like, I mean the negotiations.
Right? Like, this isn't a negotiation. This is what we're offering you. If you want the show to continue, take this offer. And if you don't, then, you know, part of my French, but go fuck yourself. Right? That's very New York style, but there you go. So I think that that's a possibility. And that could also be a little bit of like, why it's not being shopped around, because it's still like, there's still some opportunity for it to be tied. Are
they like playing chicken with right now, like saying who's going to flinch?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, Rob. What do you think?
I'm obviously not. I don't work in the industry, so the idea of, to me, naturally, the idea of saying, "Well, let everything expire so we can renegotiate from scratch," seems like dropping to 4th in the race, just so you can make a more dramatic comeback to win.
I love that.
I don't know. I mean,
Casey, yeah, I'd
heard things like, you know, 6 episode seasons and, you know, slash the budgets and stuff like that, and Amazon aren't making money off it or whatever, you know, but the rights sit with Sony. So unless you're really super confident that no one is going to bid on, to bid to Sony about getting it, to me strikes as a little too ballsy of Amazon to be like, well, we'll lowball so then we can renegotiate fresh when it's all expired. They're under no like obligation to sell the show and pitch it correctly. Like, you know, they don't have the rights. Sony have the rights. They probably have, again, not having seen it, probably have the obligation to, you know, sell the show in good faith.
Yeah,
there's probably a clause in there. It's like, you can't just buy the rights and then like not actually make the show.
No, you're right. I think a lot of properties do that, right? Like they put that in there.
Yeah. But Amazon doesn't have that. So if they are trying to bid to get, you know, to spend less money on it, I don't know. It seems weird that they would. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem to fit for me.
Yeah.
So I think if there was lowballing and wanting to renegotiate or give her options, it would probably come from Sony's direction as opposed to Amazon's. I think Amazon's just tight. You know, I suppose they're just like, despite the fact they're backed by the richest guy in the world or one of the richest guys in the world, whatever. Like, I think, you know, they're like, oh, it doesn't make 59 million% profit. You know?
Yeah. I think it does make sense. I agree. And I'm not sure. What I want to know is what happens to the right. Like you said, there's probably something in the contract where if like they can't just sit on the show forever and not do anything. Like the rights might revert back to SaveWoT, most likely is what I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I mean, if they expire or they break their release clause or whatever, then I would guess it goes back to iWatt. They're the original holders of it, aren't they? Not the original holders, but they're the ones that, you know, through murky reasons have it for however long they have it, perpetuity or whatever crap it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they own it. They just own the rights to it forever and ever and ever until the end of time. I mean, that's kind of what's ironic about this. Like, our only hope could be iWatt. Like, how fucked up is that?
Look, I say this a lot. I don't say this a lot, but I've said this every time iWatt stuff comes up. Do I like what they did to Harriet and the whole Winter Dragon thing? No. But do I like that we got Amazon and Sony's production of the TV show out of their dealings? Yes. So, you know, I'm grateful that they, you know, I'm not grateful for how they kept the rights, but I'm grateful that they did something with the rights and it got us the show that we got, and, you know, that we ended up with Rafe and the team that we have. So,
yeah,
you know, like there's ups and downs to it, you know?
Yeah. Speaking of Rafe, he finally broke his silence with a nice long post on Instagram. Jen, would you care to soothe us with the sounds of Rafe Judkins? Showrunner?
Probably not going to sound like Rafe Judkins, but
I don't know.
Just imagine that I was Rafe Judkins.
Okay.
I've been asked the same question many times the last week. Why was the Wheel of Time canceled? And the truth is, I don't know. I wish I could say something clear and tidy that explains to all those who love it why it's coming to an end, but sadly, I can't. What I can say is that the actors and crew on our show are the most talented and wonderful group of people I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And we've all been incredibly lucky to make something that not only was beloved by fans and even critics, but was also watched by huge numbers of people all over the world, appearing in the Nielsen Top 10 for nearly 20 weeks, a feat very few shows have been able to match in the last decade. One of my core goals in making this show, even from the earliest crafting of the pitch, has been to tell the whole story. Because the Wheel of Time books do what television has always done best, get better as they go. And as our actors and team came on board, they too could see the potential if we were allowed to finish this incredible story. We made many sacrifices, both personal and creative, along the way to get to that ending, so coming up short feels like a devastating blow for all of us. Much has been written about this larger trend in TV toward fewer seasons with less episodes and finding quicker ways to acquire additional streaming subscribers. But I genuinely believe that this goes against the fundamental strength of television, long-form storytelling. It is an art form, much like epic fantasy, which at its very best gives people a place to go and spend time with the characters that they love year after year after year. And I believe there are executives, studios, and networks who know that. I believe that we will find our way through this current iteration of the industry and back to what we do best, bringing great characters into people's living rooms and lives every week. Will the Wheel of Time get to do that with another network and finish the story? Sadly, it's not something that happens often, but it does happen. In fact, one of the reasons we first chose Amazon as a home for the show was because they were in the midst of picking up The Expanse after Sci-Fi canceled it. So who knows, perhaps the Wheel of Time show will do what the books have always managed to do since day one, defy the traditional definitions of beginnings and ends. I certainly hope it does, because this book series and these fans deserve to see the story finished.
Thanks, Jen.
You're welcome.
That was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, thanks, Rafe.
It was a wonderful surprise.
This is a really good, like, this is exactly what you want to hear in the sense of, like, you know, from the showrunner when the show gets canceled. Almost all of it. The part I don't want to hear is that he doesn't know why the show got canceled. Did they not tell him why the show was canceled? They just said, we're not, sorry, the show's not being renewed, and we're not going to tell you why.
He said, he's not saying, oh.
I took that as he doesn't believe financial reasons. Like, that's what's being spouted. I took that as
he's not getting told the truth. He doesn't believe what he's being told as to why the show's.
Yeah, that's what I took that as. Yeah,
I like that then, because I was like, if they don't tell him, that's fucked up. Amazon, if like you don't tell your showrunner why you canceled the show. Okay, I mean maybe he's not allowed to tell. Also, like I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought from the second sentence, but he says literally, I don't know. So
Jen is saying, your co-host Rob Jensen is saying they don't know.
Maybe he doesn't. I just took that as like he doesn't believe the reason. So yeah, that would also mean he doesn't know. He was like, they say financial reasons. I don't believe that, but I don't know because they're not saying anything else.
Yeah. Jen says they never actually give you a real reason. And we've read that in those articles, like when we were talking last week about other TV shows that got canceled and revived. And, you know, there's always quotes that most of these TV executives say the same thing. Like, you know, we're, you know, budgeting or views or, you know, we're changing up our programming. That's the other one.
No comedies on Fridays.
No laughing.
Bad shows.
Restructuring, and unfortunately your job was restructured out. You know, like
and then right to boot, I think there was an announcement today that Amazon or Prime Video just signed a deal to make some young adult fantasy series.
Great.
Powerless was it called? I can't remember now the name of it. Sorry, I didn't actually have it.
Hope their fans don't want to see the whole thing.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, good luck with that, fans.
Sorry, Powerless fans.
Yeah,
it's a
trilogy.
I almost made a satire sort of video pretending that I had like sources telling me that the Oxford Dictionary is redefining there's a new term out by Gen Z called, you know, just streamers or something like that. And they're redefining the term to include the phrase, to include the meaning in the phrase that, you know, it means nothing gets finished. It's always cancelled, you know, because that's what their trend is. I almost made that. I decided not to in the end, but it was, I couldn't make it funny.
I was crying every time I tried.
Yeah, I was just like, this is just really depressing. I can't do this. So
we'll just do a podcast about that show.
Yeah,
and then as each show gets canceled, we'll just pick up the next thing they decide to do 3 seasons.
And that would be the name of the podcast, like, and what gets canceled next.
I love it.
Yeah, it's so this is Lauren Roberts' Powerless. It's a young adult trilogy, fantasy, romance type show. I don't really know anything about it, except what I just told you. But yeah, they just signed, bought the rights to make this. So
like 3 books. That's what we'll do.
Yeah. That's the problem. Easier. Too many books. We picked a series.
Way too many books. Come on, people, wake up. Too many books. You know, who's going to read all those books? Certainly not millions of fans. No.
Definitely only one time, though.
Yes.
If you read it, it's only going to be once.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one could commit to continuously reading these books for 30 years.
No, over and over and over again. Yeah, I feel like we keep getting these gut punches. Right after they announced the Wheel of Time cancellation, right? They announced like some sort of new marketing plan for Wings of Power. Another fantasy show they just bought the rights to make.
I'm just going to pivot because I'm excited by. It sounds really bad because the movie wasn't great, but I still love watching it. I'm excited by Disney picking up Aragon and making a TV series. So I was going to. I feel like Disney might actually finish that one. I don't know why. Disney feels like they well, except for except for what I mean, but yeah, that's fair. Willow wasn't that good though, was it?
So
I didn't end up watching
Disney cancels things and then wipes them from existence. So
yeah, they erase them from the. I'm pretty convinced that that's like part of their philosophy over there. They try to gaslight their fans and viewers by just erasing things from catalogs like they never existed.
Yeah, awful.
I'm sure they're scouring the internet and trying to get any articles about Willow removed from the internet.
Never happened. You dreamt that whole thing.
Never happened. What are you talking about?
That was AI falsehood.
Yes.
I don't mean to be too negative, but Prime Video does the same thing.
Yes.
So
they do?
Yes. They take things off. Even things that you buy, they take off, and then you don't have them anymore.
Yeah. It's part of the
money back? That's terrible.
No.
When you buy them digitally, they're like, you know, if we remove this from it's in the small print. If we remove this from a catalog, it's gone. You know, you don't have it
disgusting.
Anymore. Yes.
Yeah, you're not buying it. You're paying for the right to watch it on their platform forever.
Well, not forever until
they decide
as long as it's on their platform. Yeah, and so
wow.
Yeah, so.
Yep. That's why I don't buy movies on streaming platforms, because who the hell knows when
how
they're
else are you
going to
buy them on a
disappear.
DVD?
No, I just rent it when I
Blu-ray?
want to watch it, or I download it from somewhere.
I actually I years ago started doing this. Didn't even think it long before I knew that platforms did this. I buy movies from Google, then you can watch them on YouTube as well because it's connected.
Wait, Oliver's Ears is saying that they took Wicked, because I bought Wicked on Prime. Do I not have that anymore? No,
That's correct.
That's disgusting. How could they do that?
It's in the print, Jen. It's like that episode of South Park when they don't read the fine print and they become the human caterpillar.
Human centipede.
Centipede. Sorry.
Oh,
whoa! This took a turn.
Human centipede.
Glad I stopped watching South Park a while ago.
That's an old episode.
Yikes.
Not that old, but yeah. It's because you didn't read the fine print. Yeah.
Always read the fine print, ladies and gents. Always.
So that is
Go watch it now, Jen.
That's a responsible
I'm on
use.
it right now.
That's a responsible use of AI, is to copy the fine print into AI and ask it to, summarize or tell you your final points of the before you agreeing to it.
No, wait, I still have it.
Nobody wants to. Nobody wants
years.
to do that, so you're not taking away anybody's job.
Can you still watch it?
Okay. It says resume.
Try and resume.
Press resume.
I'm just going to watch Wicked, guys. I'll see you in a few minutes.
A few minutes? Wicked is not that.
See you in 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm just gonna watch Titanic, folks. I'll see you in a month.
2 hours. Right. 3. I still have it over years. I don't know what happened to you.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks, Prime, for letting me still have Wicked.
Shh, they're not listening. They're not listening to this.
Only more. They're actively trying to delete our podcasts.
Prime, you're great. We love you, Prime Video.
Well, they could delete it off of their what's their Amazon Music, I guess, but that's about it. They can't wipe it unless they buy our hosting site, I guess. Then they could theoretically wipe it. But they already own no, they don't.
It's getting very dark now.
What were we talking about?
I'm sorry. We're off track. Let's go. Let's talk about something positive, right? And partially why we have Rob here is we want to talk a little bit about the Save the Wheel of Time campaign, or the SaveWoT campaign. We started talking about it last week, but there's definitely been some changes and things happening. And Tom and Jen insisted that they interview Rob and I, or grill us on the SaveWoT campaign. So we will do our best to answer your questions.
I'm curious if they read the T's and C's, which claim that I do not actually possess accurate knowledge.
You're not a well-placed source.
Also, I'm here to talk about the SaveWoT movement, not a campaign. It's a movement. For about a week, I've been calling it a movement. I'm like, no, it's much more than just a campaign. It's a movement.
Okay. I like it.
All right.
I like
when
that.
we are taking over the comment sections of Prime and Sony posts about non-Wheel of Time related things, I feel like it's a bit more than just a campaign.
Yeah,
I like it.
I feel like, I'll see something go up in a Discord that says, "Hey everyone, here's an article. Go in the comments and talk about how you want the Wheel of Time back." And then you just within an hour, there's like 500 comments about the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
So I want to start there. It seems like this movement, the SaveWoT movement, has some level of organization to it. Is this run by content creators? How what is this movement? What is the guiding hand behind it?
So I am the Wizard of Oz, the man behind the curtain. Joe is Dr. Evil, minus the cats.
I do have two cats. They're just not.
Oh, there we go, with the cats. Okay, fair enough. Sorry. No, it's not like that at all. No, it just happened, didn't it, Joe?
Yeah, I got tapped on the shoulder by I guess it was Mel, right? I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a bunch of folks who were doing the Renewal stuff, and I remember they invited me initially. King.
That's how it's sorry, it goes back to Renewal actually, before the same. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not sure I've actually got the spoons to be an active member and really sort of give input. And I don't want to sort of let people down. So I'll do what I can here and there, and I can host things here and there, such as the rewatch party that I did. Things like that. And then obviously the show got cancelled, and I took some time to think about it, especially at Mel's insistence, because she was like, yeah, you said you didn't have the spoons, and I don't want you to put yourself in a position where you can't do it. And damn you, Lauren. Blame Lauren for this, but also thank you, Lauren, for this. His video, which I'm sure everyone's watched, but if you haven't, please go bloody watch it. It's amazing. Gave me chills. And it was the line from Swan, which I only discovered this week came from season 1. I, for some reason, thought it came from season 3. That's how well he wove it all together. But it's like, when she says the wheel calls you to this, whether you can bear it or not, I got chills saying that right now. That's how much it moved me. And I wrote back to Mel. I was like, I'm in. I don't care. Like, I'm in. So there's 7 of us in that part, like, who,
yeah, something like that.
Renew, and then those of us that have like hopped in since. But we're not like in charge of the movement. Like, Omar's set up the website. Like, Mel sort of like is spearheaded the GoFundMe type thing. Malkiz King has done a lot of like the media connecting and stuff. I'm doing bits in between here and there. I was like, I will make sure everyone gets a thank you who donates. So like, if you got a thank you for donating, it was probably me who did that, stuff like that. Nice. So it's just that bit got spearheaded by us, but like a lot of the other things that are happening is just in the SaveWoT Mirror channel. I think that's what it's called. Yeah,
and the WOT series server. There's just like a lot of stuff going on in there too, like separate from that as well. And then other countries that things are going on as well. So
yeah, just there's threads in that channel. So for example, there's social media poster boost, fundraising ideas, Department of Graphics Design, Loyal's print shop, post days, streamer outreach, active fan page outreach. There's threads for different things that are happening, and I'm like, I have no idea what's happening in those things, because it's just everyone organically has kind of like filtered themselves to help a different part of it type thing. So it's very, what is it when there's no leaders, but it's, what's that called?
Decentralized government.
Yeah, it's quite decentralized. Yeah,
I like that.
Not a government, but it's very decentralized. Yeah. Yes.
So I saw today, there was a billboard in Times Square, or slightly north of Times Square technically, but in the Times Square area, advertising this movement. How did that come about?
That you'd have to ask.
Yeah, that's not even us. That was a group in Brazil that literally fundraised money for that billboard. Yeah, that was they did it through WhatsApp, from what I understand, which I didn't know that was something you could do. But yeah,
fundraised through that, didn't they? It was interesting.
Yeah,
WhatsApp. Okay.
Yeah, and they raised enough money to put up a billboard today in the Times Square, and I say the Times Square, but yeah, north of Times Square, I think it's Duffy Square, and there was right above the Pele store, very big, nice looking digital billboard. That if you go on social media, a lot of people are posting pictures of it, which is pretty cool, and then tagging, Sony, Amazon, Apple, Netflix.
Rafe retweeted it. Posted on Instagram.
Yeah, Yosha, a bunch of Priyanka, a lot of
Madeline Madden did too.
Yeah, a lot of people are. Yosha, I think Yosha put something about like he was like, I'm very he was very humbled by it. Like
that is kind of what he put. It was like, wow.
Yeah,
it was great to see.
Yeah, for sure. And we're also working on billboards. To put up billboards over on Times Square as well, or in and around Times Square. In LA by the studios, we're going to get a traditional billboard put up over there. We're looking to get a billboard up in Leicester Square in London. And then my favorite is the flyover banner.
Over all the studios in Culver City, California.
Like over the beach?
Yes. A banner that says "Save the Wheel of Time," pulled by an airplane in LA.
Oh.
For like flying for like 2 hours or something, just over the studios.
Like yes.
Yeah.
So good.
That's amazing.
So good.
These are the things that are coming up and are happening soon. This is what the GoFundMe is for, right? We opened up a GoFundMe, and how many days has it been, Rob? Since like 3 days,
48 hours or something. I don't know. Like, I think it was set up late on Tuesday, and then like we looked at it and like tested it, and some people donated to it then, so obviously to make sure that worked as well. And then it was like publicly put up either very, very, very late on Tuesday or on Wednesday. And the initial target was $7,000, which covered like the flyover and a couple of the billboards. We're like, we'll start there. And obviously, things, sites like GoFundMe and that, they take obviously a processing fee for the cards and such. So it like covered everything. And then 4 hours later, that was hit. And so we were like, okay, what other things were we looking at and getting prices for and such? And so we added all those together, and they were like, okay, so $16,000 was the new total.
Yeah.
So we put that up and added the stretch goal and said what it was going to cover, and then that got hit yesterday, like 48 hours, not even, something like that.
Yeah.
People are still donating to it right now, and it currently has raised, as of this moment, $22,411.
My God.
Wow.
Yeah, in like 2 days. How amazing is this fan community, huh? All this is going to go to things like billboards and flyovers that are going to happen within the next few weeks.
Yeah.
The flyover is going to be gold plated now.
Well, yeah,
it's going to drop. Also it's going to drop pamphlets.
drop
copies of the fires.
Copies of the book.
Yeah.
Books. Yeah.
That's amazing. Wait for the official update for it, but I think currently there's looking at static town hall train station posters in Sydney and a couple other things. There is like a static billboard looking at where we've been advised, like, put it on this billboard here, because all the execs drive past it every single day. That's where everybody advertises if they want the execs to see it, type thing. So someone in the know of where to place billboards reached out to us to give us that information.
Awesome.
And they are a well-placed source.
Nailed it.
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
No, actually, they're a verified source. We'll say that.
For a well-placed billboard.
They're a verified source for well-placed billboards. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
A very well-placed billboard has
informed me that I should save Wheels Up. I think that speaks to the impact that the show had. Like people don't have. This is not a financial time in a lot of countries where people have spare cash just throw around, and for people to take their hard-earned money and put it towards this, I think is just another testament to the show and what it means to the fan community.
Yeah,
I think everybody just kind of wants to do something.
Yeah,
be a part of this and like contribute in any way they can to try to get this thing back going.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about a bunch of successful revivals of shows last week, and I think the Wheel of Time, right, Rob, compared to some of the other ones that Rob did some research on other fan campaigns for bringing TV shows back.
I did.
And I think we've done the Wheel of Time, like, right, how many signatures are there now? 137,000,
I think.
Okay, so you look at this. Like, literally, I wrote these notes like an hour ago, and it's gone up like another 2,000 signatures. Right, 100.
Yeah, so I went and looked through some of the other campaigns. So Warrior Nun, for example, which did get saved in a new format as a movie, if you want to ignore the fact that apparently the exec was a bad person when it comes to taking everyone's, not their money.
Oh yeah, he got like arrested or something like that.
Yeah, got like arrested or something. Yeah, if you want to ignore that. Like, for example, their GoFundMe was for billboards in LA, in Sunset in LA and Van Ness, New York, obviously Times Square, with fans posting themselves as selfies under it. And they got 5 small billboards in London on things like bus stops and stuff like that, and fans didn't walk around posting on social media. They raised $42,000 when they did that, and then they also had a separate group were in Italy, and they brought a billboard in Milan, which was on one of Milan's busiest streets. And again, fans went and posted selfies of themselves there, and they had rewatch parties and social media drives and stuff like that. Although at that stage when they would, Warrior Nun had been completely cancelled. Sorry, it was The Expanse I was thinking about. Their petition reached 126,000 signatures. So we've passed that.
We've already passed that in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and they ran that for that's like a month or two or something like that. They hit that number. The Expanse, obviously saved by Prime. Their petition got 108,000 signatures in the lifetime of their petition. They did a GoFundMe just for skywriting, got 4K for that. But then they got some extras, so they did like coffee packages to Amazon and stuff like that.
I think that
they actually had.
I was going to say, I think they had something that benefited them, and it was about outer space, and Jeff Bezos loves outer space. I'm serious. I'm not even saying that as a joke. That was literally, I think there was, Jeff Bezos was like a keynote speaker or featured speaker at some sort of space conference, and some of the cast from The Expanse were there at the conference, and Jeff Bezos was talking with them, and he was like a big fan of the show.
That's basically exactly what happened. They this meeting was planned months in advance, and things have been negotiated in the background, and it was like 2 hours before the meeting, and he was like, oh yeah, so we'll do this, and then he just went out and said that. But they did things like someone took a model of one of the ships, put it on a weather balloon, sent it to the edge of space, filmed that like from the weather balloon, and then it got obviously to the edge of space and the weather balloon explodes. That's how it works based on the gases and such that's filled with it. And they carried on filming it as it fell to Earth, fell in a random field. I've watched the video. It's literally what you expect: a balloon going up, staring at the model of the airplane, of the spacecraft, and then suddenly you just see flecks of bits of balloon fly everywhere as it hits the edge of space, and then just it goes whoosh, all the way down, and you think, is this going to land on someone's office, someone's car, someone, and it just lands in a green field. And before it actually hits, like, you're like half a foot away from the floor, the video cuts, save bands and things like that, because obviously there was no video of it actually breaking. So they did that. They had a bit of luck because The Expanse was still being played, so they could still drive bigger numbers each week as it came out, type thing.
Yeah.
And the last one I looked at, we did another one, but they had like a full timeline, so I didn't dive into that one that we posted. But like Lucifer, which was saved for Netflix, in their lifetime petition, they got 120,000 signatures, and they were noticed thanks to like trending Twitter hashtags and things like that. And it was kind of like, that was all they did, and they got picked up.
I think that the
social media drives with their things.
Yeah,
what show are you talking about?
Lucifer. Yeah.
Oh, Lucifer.
Yeah, they remember we talked about that last week. Like they had like 3.8 million tweets or something. Like it was ridiculous. Yeah. And I think the guy on the actor from the show, I think, who played Lucifer, like kind of posted something, I think, on social media, and everyone kept kind of like reposting it or whatever. I don't know.
They just went viral for it. Yeah. So they were like, that's it. We don't need no money. We went viral with the hashtags and such. So that's fine. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, good if you can manage it. So
yeah, it's good examples of shows that got picked up or successful fan campaigns. I think the question is, right, how much of the fan campaign actually affects the decision?
I love what Jen Sadai has put in chat. Probably while we were talking about that, I was reading the doc at the time. When I worked at Warner Brothers, one of my favorite laughs was watching the plane circle the studio, dragging the banner, release the Snyder cuts. I didn't realize they wanted the Snyder cut that badly. They hired a plane. That's amazing.
Yeah,
they got it.
Yeah, and they got it, right? Another successful.
They get it. This is true. Yeah.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good today now.
There you go.
Yeah, this is crazy. I hope people keep signing. I hope people keep donating, and we can find good ways to use that money to help, get the show signed. Maybe we can raise enough money and just produce the show ourselves, a fan-produced version of the show.
Yeah, I mean, if we can, 120 million.
Yeah.
Right.
So if we can just get, I don't know, millions of people have read this book. So if we just get like 1 million people to donate $120, like, done, easy.
Yeah,
that's another season made.
Yeah, I think that's like, it's almost the amount of a Prime subscription.
Basically, yeah.
I'd say that, like,
speaking of that, actually, I have more Billboard news that I woke up to that whilst we were doing this, was trying to figure out where it would be. But a friend of mine who's a big fan of the TV show, Lada, she lives in Ireland, but comes to Mercuricon, and that's how I know her, has putting a billboard up somewhere in Times Square tomorrow. I don't know exactly where. The image she sent me of like paying and booking for it doesn't say. But on the billboard, she's going to put, I could have spent this money on my Amazon subscription, and she's like starred one of the letters in Amazon, so it doesn't actually say Amazon. But they cancelled my favorite show, so here we are instead again, because I think she's been a fan of she was Shadow and Bone when that got cancelled.
Oh, okay.
And then she's put help save the Wheel of Time, and then SaveWoT.com.
Ooh, are they going to let that go through? I wonder if the billboard company is going to let that go through, because
I don't know.
Take it Amazon.
It's just plain text, and she's starred out the word Amazon. So, yeah. But yeah, that should be going up tomorrow, apparently. I wrote to her and I said, obviously she's in Ireland, so like me, it's the middle of the night for her. But I was like, where in Times Square is this? Like, where in New York? Like, we'll post and try and get people to go, or get a screenshot of it or something.
There's a lot of
but yeah, made me laugh that she's like, spent her Prime membership money on buying a billboard in Times Square, albeit probably not the biggest of billboards, but still, I love the I love the dedication.
Yeah, so. Yeah, it's fun. Our own TV show, our own season 4. We know how to do that, right? Run
well, James and I will write it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool videos.
We can advertise it.
There was a really cool video put out today, I think, right? Was it today or yesterday? I lose track of time. I don't know what day it is. That Critter posted with some of the crew members from the show. And yeah, it's cool to see.
That was yesterday, I believe.
It was yesterday. Thank you.
No, that was Wednesday. It went out on Wednesday.
Oh, was it? Oh my God! See,
yeah,
what's going on? I don't know what's going on.
I remember that because I was in it.
You were in it. That's right. You were.
Yeah. I very last second, I was like, oh, sorry. This was like Tuesday. I'm at work, and I was like, damn, I really forgot to do this. I'm sorry. And she's like, I'm still putting it together. If you can send it to me, I was like, I could be home in 90 minutes and I could record something. And she's like, that's fine. So we got in. But I recorded something quick, and I'm looking at all the messages people are saying. I'm like, I wish I'd recorded like an actual like proper message, as opposed to Wheel of Time is everything that you even name your cats after characters. And I was holding.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was holding my cat Sulin, who didn't. She cut off a bit where I'm like, who doesn't want to sit with me? Because at that moment she like dug in all her claws and jumped off me. Yeah. But yeah, then she said like, no, Rob, it was great because I had to cut so much out of everyone's videos to make it anything manageable. But it's such a nice video. Like there was the girls who played Matt's sisters. Sharon was there. There was multiple people from the crew. It was just really, really sweet. I loved it. So.
Yeah, good video.
And then
go ahead,
sorry, Joe.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and then I believe this was earlier today, although it could have been yesterday as well. I think Shower posted something on Twitter, kind of invoking that with the power of the fans that the show may be renewed, and like kind of really endorsing what the SaveWoT thing is all about.
Well, she's been really through this, all right, with the Expanse, right. So she's like, it's okay, I've been through this already. We'll get it back.
This is true. Yeah. I actually replied to that post. I sort of reactivated my Twitter in order to share things around. Because I was like, I will use that horrible platform in order to save Wheel of Time.
Use it for good. Yeah.
Use it for good. So, that was a reply to her reply to someone else. Where's the actual post? Oh, no. So she quoted Salia is what she did, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So Salia posted, if hashtag the Wheel of Time can get Shore cast in the Wheel of Time, we can save Wheel of Time. Elida only had one season on screen. Let Shore cook. Shore quote tweeted her and said, though the wheel may pause, the story of the Wheel of Time must be told. Elida has not played her last card. With the power of our incredible fans, we will weave this tale back to life. And then she's like praying hands and a heart emoji, and then put hashtag Twitter time and hashtag SaveWoT,
nice.
Which was just incredible.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
She knows the right hashtags to use.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, she's one of us.
That's it. I feel like that's like that between Ray's post and her post and like the casting crew. Sharon's been, I think, pretty constant, like putting stuff out there about the costumes and things like that. But I don't know, it's giving me a real positive vibe. I feel like, I don't know. There's momentum.
Yeah, I mean, do we know, just like shifting gears a little bit because you mentioned Sharon, do we know if they put the costuming in the bid for the nominations for Emmys? Do we know that for sure? I don't know what
I don't know. I remember I asked we actually
I'm wondering if she's trying to
yeah,
get
maybe
a little support. Yeah.
We did a recording about this because Meg and I were like, why don't we ask Jen Sedai how does Emmy stuff work?
I listened to that episode.
Oh, thank you. And we think it was just general, like, here's a general FYC panel, so we could just push you for anything. So I don't know if like the costumes got put forward for anything specifically. Mm-hmm. I mean, they should be. Everything should be.
I remember for last season, didn't they do like some sort of special display with a bunch of other shows? Like Amazon did like a costume display, like, or interactive type thing out in LA for like
Jen's just put a message in chat. I'm pretty sure they did. I got over to see them at the Amazon FYC thing. They wouldn't be putting costumes on display if they weren't actually submitting them. And then they moved them over to Sony. So, okay. Yeah. The costumes are being put forward. So if the costumes don't win an Emmy, I'm going to burn down Emmy Studios when no one's in the building. Because I don't want anyone to actually be.
Yeah. I would be I would be very shocked. Well, I was upset that last season they didn't even get nominated, right? Like it was.
I don't think they tried last season.
Okay, I guess that's the only reason, because I'm like, how does that show not get nominated for costumes? Like,
yeah, because you have to, like we said in the recording, Jen told us, you have to actually pay to submit for costumes, for writing, for best episode, whatever it might be, to be considered for nominations, and then you get voted on after that. So if you don't pay that submission form to be like, hey, put us in the consideration for the consideration, then you don't get considered.
Yeah. I can't imagine, though, not doing that. I figured they would think that that's a slam dunk to at least get nominated for. Like, what else is there on I mean, there's obviously other fantasy shows and other shows with, like, whatever, period piece type shows with, costumes, but you think it would be a shoo-in to at least get nominated.
Yeah, you would. I still laugh that it's like, yay, we canceled this TV show. Now let's try and get awards for it.
Right.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they still want that, right? They because Amazon or Sony, whatever, could put that on their shelf and say, hey, we got Emmy awards for this. We got Emmy nominations for our studio or streaming service or whatever. So it doesn't matter whether the show's canceled or not. I don't think they really care either way, right? I don't
know. Just to me, it makes you look even more foolish. It's like, I remember when I ranted on my video about this. It's like you hired a Michelin star chef. They made you amazing food, and you walked it to the table for the person to eat, and you burnt it on the way in the form of a cancellation. And you said, but it's okay because here's a special Emmy garnish, so it's really nice. And I'm just like, how foolish do you look to say, we've just canceled this TV show that is now winning Emmys. Like, hey, yeah, but aren't we smart?
Right.
Like it just.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like it wasn't good enough to renew, but it's good enough to. I mean, that supports though. Like it's a financial decision. Like, no, we thought the show was really good. It just wasn't getting the viewers and the money just didn't make sense. It was more of a business decision, not a quality of show decision. I mean, that's maybe what that says. Maybe
that is how they look at it. I look at it and feel like, you're celebrating a cancellation of a show that wins awards. Like, to me, I was like, you canceled an Emmy-winning show in its Emmy-winning season. Why would I have any faith in you keeping anything that's not Emmy-winning?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it was a weird one to me to be like, now we'll push it for Emmys that we've cancelled it. Like, yeah.
But we continue on to do what we've done these last 5-6 years, is just read everything that they put out there and try to read into it.
Yeah.
Like, real-time fans do that? Never.
It's like when you get a still, right, or a 3-second audio clip, like from season 1 with Perrin and Egwene. Are you ready? Like, we'll just talk. We'll just talk about this one sentence in an article for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, that was still great. Where Rafe was like, "I will fly you out to Prague or whatever and buy you dinner and so on and so forth." And then it was like someone got like really close to guessing what it actually was. He's like, I feel like that was Rafe's moment of like, he should not underestimate this fandom in any way.
That was before the unblurring too, and then I think the unblurring might have been after that, and then they were like, "Yeah, no, wait, we can't do any of this stuff."
Maybe that's what killed all the advertising. Like, we can't release any information, and no matter how vague, because these guys are too good, they figure it out.
Like, it's just a silhouette of the characters, and like,
someone's like,
too much.
I can tell what they're wearing from that silhouette, and thus they must be going somewhere cold. And
that little bump right there is a power wrought blade peeking out. It's
person wearing a hat is Moraine, so they must be going somewhere hot this season.
The hat. No one would guess. Oh my god, how funny would it be like if they did a silhouette and it's a silhouette of Moraine in the hat? Like who would guess that it's Moraine in a hat? No one would have. No one would have gotten that.
Gosh.
Yeah, who is this character? Who the hell? Is that another? Is it Aerith? Another Ogier? What? Like? Oh boy,
that would have been amazing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Tom, Jen, do you have any more questions for us?
I do not.
Yeah, I think through our normal course of conversation, you covered all the questions that I had. I appreciate you giving us a little insight into some of the stuff that we've been seeing online and in discords and things of that nature, or on the streets of New York City. So hopefully we'll be able to see a lot more people taking pictures of billboards and planes in their general vicinity.
Yeah, I mean,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, keep an eye on social media. If you're listening, you'll follow the SaveWoT hashtag anywhere on social media, on any social media platform. It's being used on Instagram, on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, on Blue Sky, on Facebook, TikTok. So yeah, just follow it, check it out once in a while. There's going to be stuff going on because there's also like social media, like frenzies going on every other day, different themes.
There's a mailing campaign now where you can, depending on the way Omar says it, depending on how lazy you are, you can either like, here's the addresses to send letters and postcards to. Please click this button when you've sent a letter or postcard so we can keep a track of who's sending them. Or not who, sorry, how many are being sent. But yeah, send letters out to the different people. We've got a bunch of addresses. Or you can use a service where it's like, here's the letter. I'll type in some details, although it's got some base, stuff in there, and you just pay the fee and the company will then make it and mail it for you to whichever location you pick, and I was like, I want the easiest option and I will pay for that. But I will put down the actual addresses so people who want to handwrite something, like a letter or a postcard or something can also do that too. There's amazing things like that. Still happening as well, so it's not just sign a petition and hop on Twitter if you're don't go and get Twitter if you don't already have Twitter. If you're like, I don't want Twitter, don't feel like you have to be included. There are many ways you can help out. So
yeah, I mean, go to SaveWoT.com, right? www.savewot.com. I will of course put the link in the show notes, and there's just go to the Take Action. Click on Take Action. There's all different things that you could do if you want to help out. And obviously there's no commitment. You can do as much or as little as you want. But I think every little bit helps, right? If everyone just gave $1, we could feed the hungry.
For a year.
I think you lost the show.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. If everyone just gave if 1 million people gave $120, we can fund our own season 4.
Are in season of exactly. So and then we'd be laughing. It's very easy, no problems at all. So. Yeah. But yeah, I just want to finish that by saying there's a lot of people doing a lot of things. So, yes, the GoFundMe is very public, the website is very public, but there's literally like Nimkins and Dave, Theorist Dave, are 2 people in the channel we talked about earlier in the What Series Discord, who are collating information about people who are writing articles and getting lists of media contacts and reaching out to people to be like, hey, post this, please, post that, please. We just hit a new milestone in the petition, or a milestone in the GoFundMe, or, things like that. And they have like dozens and dozens of contacts they've been chasing down and following in countries all over the world. And like day in, day out, like, Nimkins is studying for a degree. Dave has got a full-time job and kids. Like, they're both busy people, and they're doing this. They've been doing this all day ever since it started. So, that's just an example of 2 people doing things. There's people out there writing graphics all the time. Like, there are people out there, chasing fundraising ideas or chasing, just chasing down articles to share in the document, so we can track all the articles that are being posted about the petition and the other things. So, there are dozens and dozens and dozens of people doing things, and anyone who shares the hashtag, anyone who posts it out, anyone who goes and bombards Prime and Sony's, social media posts with "Please save the Wheel of Time," you're part of it too, and you're helping as well. So don't, it's not like, oh, congratulations to Rob and Joe and Omar and Mel and like, the others and Critter and that. Like, there's many, many, many people. This is a huge group effort. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I like it. We said it before. So I think you said it, decentralized, because there's things going on independent. It's not like everything's being done, by one group of people. So that's kind of cool. And the things that are happening in different countries. And like, I know we're trying to connect with those groups as well, just to kind of like increase reach and, promote what other people are doing in other countries as well.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to do it. And my understanding from what you said before, it seems like, there's people who are like, get together to kind of, tally the efforts and coordinate the efforts, but like the efforts are not coming from or driven by or only the results of those people. Like people feel this passion and they want to work towards it, and the goal is just to kind of let's work together. Let's make sure that our voices are being heard and amplified. And I think that's a great way. That's a great way to do it.
Yeah, and I think, Omar did a great job of setting up things on the websites, like lots of different activities that people could do, like themselves, real easily. And I think that's been huge. Omar's amazing with that. So it's kind of like a self-propelling engine at this point, like with things like that. People just go and click on a link, and this is you can do this or you can do that.
It's like there's a big engine at work, and Omar set up the frame, but we've filled it, and everyone is driving it with their energy. So there's a lot of thanks to go around to a lot of people.
Go to that website, SaveWoT.com.
Yes,
you have to go to it. If you haven't signed the petition, sign it.
That was funny. Yes. Nimkins was supposed to say, and she's like, you'd think with the amount I've talked about this to my husband Drew, and like gone on and on and on about how much I'm doing to like chase contacts and things, you think he would have signed it. No, apparently he's still not gone to the website and signed it, but he has now. Stupid man.
I don't know if I signed it, to be honest with you. I don't remember. I know I signed the Renewal one, but I don't know if I signed the SaveWoT one. So you might go through that email list and be like, oh shit, I missed mine. But I don't want to do it twice. So, but I guess I could do it twice. Whatever. Doesn't matter. If you don't remember if you did it, go do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not hurting anybody. So.
Omar periodically goes through and just like make sure, to my understanding, don't quote me, but I believe he goes through now and again and just make sure we don't have like, bots duplifying it and things like that. So, I think he keeps it a clean number. So if you're worried, hey, I don't think I actually signed it, you can go sign it. And if you've duplicated yourself, that will get, filtered back out.
Yeah.
So yeah,
awesome.
Because we don't want to wait. Well, I mean, it'd be great if World Cup tomorrow and it was like 250,000 signatures, but we don't want that if it's AI bots and stupid things like that. We want it to be authentic. So yeah, he is keeping track of that.
Yeah,
I will say this. Laura in chat just mentioned that she just entered her husband's info and submitted it for him. That's completely appropriate, right?
Yes.
So, as a married couple, you're allowed to sign petitions for each other. I think that's
and if you have any like infant children, you could feel free to put their information in there as well.
I mean, my cats are signed, so
we're edging. All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
For legal purposes, my cats have not signed the
It was one of those captcha things came up, and it said pick all the photos that have a mouse in it, and the cat was just like,
pick all the posts with a laser light pointer. All right.
You imagine that someone who invents those things is gonna be like, oh my god, we should do a laser pointer and have people like chase a laser pointer around the room with a mouse. It would just be like we've become cats.
It's true.
We got confirmation it was consensual, the signing of the petition.
Oh, good.
As long as it's consensual, it's okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I say so, right? I think this is probably a good place to wrap it up.
Sounds right.
Yeah, I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post our episodes on YouTube, so be sure to go to our YouTube page to like and subscribe. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out our merchandise and Patreon pages to support us that way. Links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes. Rob, thank you so much for joining us. What's going on, Rob, in the Rob Malkier Talks world? You got anything? You got lots of stuff going on. Talk about it.
I got lots going on. The YouTube, it's going to look like I have ditched Wheel of Time in some ways, which is not what's happening. But the YouTube was always planned after season 3 to expand to do other things like reviewing movies and other TV shows and things like that. So I've got TV shows to catch up on. So the YouTube channel will be doing some of that, and still obviously as much Wheel of Time as I can get my hands on. Three-Wheeling, which we mentioned tonight. That's my podcast with Jen Sedai and Meg Moz. We're out every 2 weeks. Hoping on our next recording to have a special guest, but he has been fairly busy. So he said he can make the next recording that we planned. We'll see if that happens. We'll post about it. If not, it'll be the one after or something like that. But yeah, we're having fun with that. We'll keep going. Sherbet Mango's just put in chat Bluey reactions. Meg Moz has maybe promised to do Bluey reactions.
Love that show.
That will happen at some point.
You might cry, Rob. You might cry. Be careful.
I'm told I'm probably going to cry. Yeah.
You haven't watched Bluey yet?
I've never watched Bluey in my life.
Oh my!
I've only ever seen stills of Bluey, so I understand what Bluey looks like, and that's it. So I don't have children, so yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm actually curious as to how it'll hit as a father. That show is like, it's not a show for kids; it's a show for me.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's high praise. I look forward to watching them.
Yeah. So Bluey's dad. So Rob, Bluey's dad, Bandit, is like akin to Tam Althor, I would say, in a kid's cartoon version type way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I go there. I think that's
in the sense of like the best dad in the world ever.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Well, yeah, we've got that coming. And obviously MalkiriCon is coming up.
Yes.
Actually at the end of August. The very, very last weekend of August, because of how we booked it. And I know we've upset Jen a tiny bit because she can't make it, but Juliet Howland is going to actually make it this year, which is amazing. And she's bringing her guitar. We're going to have yeah. Well, I say that she's not actually bringing her guitar. We have a guitar coming to the hotel for her. Let's clarify that.
Okay.
But you can expand from that what you will. And I'll leave that there as a tease.
I'm going to put the link to MalkiriCon because tickets are on sale, right?
They are, yes.
Now, Rob, for those of us who can't get to Prague, is there a way that we can participate in MalkiriCon?
Yeah. So there are digital tickets. We do that. They are, I'm pretty sure they're up on the website already. We hit a few. It was our first year in Prague last year, so we hit a few snags, which we learned a lot about. And I have recompense the people who unfortunately didn't have the greatest experience. But yeah, this year we're going to have a well-working system. But yeah, you're going to be able to watch basically everything.
Awesome.
Much like you can at WotCon, where you can, all the panels are streamed, and the we don't have a main stage, but like opening and closing ceremonies and stuff. So it will just be if we go have a party somewhere in a club or something like that, or the dinner that is happening on Friday night that people wanted us to add in. Obviously, we won't be streaming those things, but yeah, you can go over and get a digital ticket. It's just £20, and you can enjoy all the content along with us, and just have a great time. So
yes, awesome. I definitely will buy a digital ticket and watch it.
The three of you have to come one year. We need a talkie invasion force.
Yes, I think I've convinced. I think my wife will do it as long as I make it part of a longer trip.
Yep.
There.
That's
we have a contingency. Yeah, we have a contingency. If Wheel of Time stays in its current iteration, we will leave Prague after next year because we've already got Prague booked for next year, and start doing. Our next stop will be Dubrovnik, where we will start doing basically not other shows, but we'll expand it a little bit, and we'll visit like famous filming sites every 2 or 3 years type thing.
There you go.
Or famous locations.
You can you can visit the Game of Thrones filming sites, right?
That's why we picked Dubrovnik. We were like, we'll do Dubrovnik for a few years, and then people can visit Game of Thrones filming sites, and then we'll pick somewhere else in Europe, and make it very European, but not move constantly. So, however, I'd like for that to happen after we've had 8 seasons of Wheel of Time. So that's the hope there. That's the current fingers crossed plan. So,
yeah, fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Tom and I think that's it.
Oh, that's it. That's all.
Yeah, sure? I think that's it. What a holiday's coming up later in the year. I've realized today I need to start planning that.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, that's it. They're the big things. So
we'll probably have to do another holiday parody. I think. There's Wat Idle. I know this isn't you, but Wat Idle's coming up. We haven't talked about that yet. But Wat Idle.
Oh yeah, that's August, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, and obviously WotCon is also coming up in a few weeks. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about WotCon next week.
That makes sense.
Yeah, very excited for that. It's just like it seems very far away to me, but it's not that far away.
I land in America in a month.
There you go.
Yeah, so provided they let me in, obviously, because
I think
you hear the horror stories. I might not have any. I'm just not going to have any apps on my phone, and then I'm clear. So
yeah, no TikTok on your phone. Yeah, and your the whole Three Wheeling podcast will be at WotCon, right?
Yes, it's the one event that all three of us can make every single year, or have made every single year. So the three of us will be there, having fun. Meg's making cocktails. We've got at some point a recording with Sharon, depending on how she's feeling. We were joking about Friday night, but she's like, I may not be awake because of travel times and things.
Oh yeah. It's not as bad coming to, right? I feel like it's not as bad.
I think it's just, I think it's just when she gets in.
I agree.
Time,
yeah, going back is going to be rougher, but yeah, you're right. She's going to be all.
I think she gets in last minute, so like Friday night was going to be a tough sell. But at some point we'll be hanging out with Sharon, and but the cocktails and partying will be happening a lot. And we're all going out to dinner on the Friday nights. So if folks are coming in not doing VIP and want people to go to dinner with, hit us up. We're going to go and get like dim sum and stuff like that. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Apparently. Jen's and I in chat. I'm just writing a Robin makes cocktails. I do nothing. Cocktails. I read that as cocktails. Oh my God.
She does ride Meg's cocktails though too.
I mean, honestly, her cocktails are amazing. People, seriously, you need to try them. Yes. So
they're delicious. Yeah. So come to WotCon and hang out with us and Three Wheeling.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if that's not a good enough reason.
I mean, that sounds like an amazing power couple right there.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I mean,
I agree.
Yeah. Sharon Gillam's going to be there, costume designer. A lot of other people are going to be there. So yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about WotCon next week, I think. Jen and Tom, any final words before I close us out?
We said a lot of words, but hashtag SaveWoT, SaveWoT.com.
Yeah, SaveWoT.com.
Do it.
SaveWoT.com.
Happy birthday, Jen.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Join
Jen.
the movement. Yeah.
Yes.
Look, Sony, Jen wanted for her birthday 7 more seasons of Wheel of Time.
Yes.
I want 7, but I'll take 5.
Okay.
I'll accept 5, but I really want 7.
Yeah.
You're right.
There you go.
There we go.
Is that what you wished for when you before you blew out your candles on your cakes? Tell the truth.
I didn't have a cake. I had a Nutella pizza from.
That's a cake in my book.
Were there candles on it though?
It was one candle, and my one wish was.
No, you can't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't true if you say it.
I was gonna bleep it out on the.
Amazing. Save that just for live business.
I'll let you imagine what the wish was, and if it comes true, I'll say what it was.
All right, write that. Make a note of that. Right, so you're reminded. Yeah. Okay.
No, that in chat, people. Come on.
Thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.